I have set up a list of cars that we don't get in the UK that we really should get. Some of these cars are sold in America but not in Europe, some of these are sold in China only, and some of these aren't sold over the channel. Let's get on with number 20, which is the Hyundai Sonata. This is a mid-size car made by Hyundai. We had the i40 in Europe, but that discontinued in 2019. If the Sonata were to come, it would come with a 2-liter 4-cylinder petrol engine with 180 horsepower, a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder with 194 or 290 horsepower, a plug-in hybrid with 154 horsepower, and maybe some diesels. We should be getting the 8-speed automatic, the 6-speed in the hybrid, and possibly some manual versions. Number 19, the Mazda 3 Turbo. We have the Mazda 3 with 2-liter naturally aspirated engines and 1.8-liter diesels, but we don't get the 2.5-liter turbo. This makes 227 to 250 horsepower, and has 4-wheel drive. 0 to 100 km an hour takes 5.5 seconds, making it faster than the Ford Focus Street or the Volkswagen Golf GTI, even though the Mazda has less horsepower than either of the two. This is however mated to a 6-speed automatic. It would be nicer if Mazda offered this with an 8-speed transmission. Number 18, the BMW M3 and M4, non-competition. These are M3 and M4s with the manual transmission. These have 480 horsepower and 550 Newton meters of torque, that is 30 less horsepower and 100 less Newton meters than the competition. It would be nice to see drag races between the manual and the automatic versions, cause there are currently no such videos between the current generations on YouTube, which is a shame, but hopefully they do it. The manual is sold outside the British Isles only. They should do 0 to 100 km an hour in around 4.1 seconds. These are rear-wheel drive only. I might like the competition model better, but I'd love to see CarWow do a drag race between the competition and non-competition model. Number 17, the Cadillac Escalade. This is a big-ass SUV made by General Motors. However, GM left the European market in 2017, so I don't know if it will ever return. This has a 3-liter inline-6 diesel with 277 horsepower, which is more than the X7 xDrive 30D at 265 horsepower. But cause of that heavy weight, it will do 0 to 100 km an hour in around 9 seconds. There's also a 6.2-liter V8 with 420 horsepower, but I think we'd likely get the diesel. This is a very practical SUV with 7 seats, and a maximum of 3,426 liters of boot space, which is more than the Mercedes GLS at 2,400 liters. Number 16, the Acura MDX. This is a big SUV made by Acura, intending to rival the BMW X5 or Mercedes GLE. This has a 3.5-liter V6, with 290 horsepower, mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission, but if this were to come to Europe, I think we'd also get a 3-liter V6 diesel with around 240 to 250 horsepower. The MDX is available in front and four-wheel drive versions. Number 15, the return of the Ford Edge, but add the Edge with 3 rows. This is exclusively sold in China. We got the 5-seater in Europe and America. The engine choices we should get are the 2-liter twin-turbo diesel with 235 horsepower, making it more powerful than the Audi Q5 TDI with 204, and the 2-liter EcoBoost, which is what China gets, with 225 horsepower, mated to the 8-speed automatic that we got on the regular model. This Ford Edge 3-row would be a practical SUV rivaling the Volkswagen Tiguan Allspace, Kia Sorento and Skoda Kodiak, possibly the BMW X3. Number 14, the Acura TLX. This is a mid-size luxury vehicle made by Acura. This has a 3-liter V6 with 355 horsepower, which should rival the BMW M340i, but there's also a 4-cylinder with 272 horsepower. Both are mated to the 10-speed automatic. I also think there should be diesels and plug-in hybrids. The TLX has front and four-wheel drive variants. Number 13, the Dodge Charger. This is a Dodge car with fast engines, like the Hellcat with a 6.2-liter supercharged V8 with 707 horsepower, and you can do 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in that thing in 3.4 seconds. There are also less powerful V8s with 485 horsepower, and a 0 to 100 time of 4.1 seconds, and a V6 with 300 horsepower and a 0 to 100 time in 6.2 seconds. Number 12. The Kia Carnival. This is a big ass minivan by Kia. This is also known as the Sedona, but it left the European market in 2012, when it was replaced by the non-sliding door Karens, until it discontinued in 2019. If the Carnival were to come, it would have a 2.2-liter diesel with just shy of 200 horsepower and an 8-speed automatic. The US has 3.5-liter V6 engines, once again, mated to an 8-speed automatic, but has 294 horsepower. This is quite a big minivan, but it has a lot of features, and a large practicality for just under $50,000, which is around over £35,000. Number 11. The return of the Volkswagen Jetta. Volkswagen decided not to sell the 7th generation Jetta to Europe. If this were to come to Europe, this would have the same engine choices as the Golf. 1-liter 3-cylinder with 115 horsepower, 1.5-liter 4-cylinder with 130 or 150 horsepower, 2-liter diesel with 115 or 150 horsepower, and possibly a plug-in hybrid with 204 horsepower. There should be manual and DCT variants. There's also a GLI with 227 horsepower with manual and DCT variants, which is less horsepower than the Golf GTI, so the 0 to 100 time is 6.9 seconds, 0.6 seconds slower. Number 10. The Cadillac CT5. This is a luxury vehicle, made by GM. It is offered with a 6-speed manual, which is very rare for a car in this segment. The engines to choose are a 4-cylinder with 237 horsepower or a V6 with 335 or 360 horsepower. The other transmission is a 10-speed automatic. Number 9. The Lincoln Corsair. This is a luxury SUV by Lincoln. I would have put a Continental on this list, but I feel like it's gonna get cancelled in favor of more SUVs for Lincoln. Anyways, here are the engine choices I think would be available. A 2-liter diesel with 190 horsepower, a 2.5-liter plug-in hybrid with 225 horsepower, and a 2.3-liter with 295 horsepower. The diesel and petrol would have the 8-speed automatic, while the PHEV would have the CVT transmission, like the one used on the Ford Kuga. Number 8. The Ford Taurus. This is a luxury vehicle, sold in China and the Middle East. However, the engines should be different, cause it has to meet European emission regulations. It should have a 2-liter diesel with 190 or 235 horsepower, a 2.3-liter petrol with 280 or 310 horsepower, a plug-in hybrid with an EcoBoost engine and around 250 to 280 horsepower, and hopefully a powerful RS that uses a 2.7-liter V6 with 335 horsepower, potentially rivaling the BMW 540i. The only transmission choice would be the 8-speed automatic, and I'd like to see front and four-wheel drive versions. Number 7. The Volkswagen Villaran. This is a minivan that is only sold in China currently. This is intending to replace the Volkswagen Charon. It has sliding doors like the Charon 2nd generation. Once again, I think the engines would be different. I think it would have 2-liter diesels with 150 or 190 horsepower, and 2-liter petrols with 190 or 220 horsepower. Manual for the 150 horsepower version, with a DCT transmission available for that engine. Other engines should have the DCT as standard. Number 6. The return of the Renault Pass. It's a minivan that left the British market in 2012. It would be quite good if they returned it to the UK. The engine choices would be the same as what continental Europe gets, with manual and DCT variants. Number 5. The Ford Explorer. This is sold in America, as well as some continental European countries like Germany. It has a plug-in hybrid variant with a whopping 457 horsepower, and has 7 seats unlike the X5 or Q7 plug-in hybrids. However, cost of its weight, the 0 to 100 time is 6 seconds. Sad we don't get this in the UK, but if it were to come, it would cost around 65 grand. Number 4, the Dodge Challenger. This is an insane muscle car. I saw CarWow drag race this against the Porsche 992 Turbo. The Hellcat has 707 horsepower from its supercharged V8, like the Charger. Number 3, the Skoda Kodiak GT. This is a coupe Skoda Kodiak, specifically for sale in China and nowhere else currently. This would have different engine choices than what China gets, I believe the same engine choices as the normal Kodiak, a 1.5 liter with 150 horsepower, a 2 liter diesel with 150 or 200 horsepower and a 2 liter petrol with 190 horsepower. Hopefully a VRS version with 245 horsepower. However, the GT will only have 5 seats, cause of that sloping roofline. Manual and DCT versions should be available for the least powerful engines, but other engines should have DCT transmissions. Number 2, the Hyundai Veloster N. This is a very sporty looking compact car, more sporty than the i30 that we get in the UK. The Veloster N is sold in America, but it's not sold in the UK officially. This has a 2 liter engine with 275 horsepower, and can do 0 to 100 in just 5.6 seconds. There are manual and DCT options available. And finally, number 1, the Ford Bronco. The Bronco has been revived after 25 years of ending production. This is sold in North America, and maybe some other markets, but Europe doesn't get this. It's a rival to the Jeep Wrangler and the Suzuki Jimny. This has a 2.3 liter engine with 270 horsepower and a 2.7 liter V6 with 310 horsepower. I'm not sure if we should also have a diesel as well. There is a 7-speed manual, which is really weird, but only on the 4-cylinder, but both engines are available with the 10-speed automatic transmission. And those are all the 20 cars that aren't sold in the UK, but I think we should get them. Are there any cars missing on the list that you think should come? Let me know in the comments. That's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe for future content, and I will see you later.